A new video is now called Joel Reacts. Today, guys, we are going
Muscles Fearless. See some YouTube clips. Everybody that fought him said hitting him is like hitting metal.
When I was punching and kicking him, he felt like a dude made out of concrete. It was ridiculous.
He was a part of the Cuban program. No one really knows what they did with him when he was young. No one knows how old he is. He was born in Cuba. He might be 100 years old. He fought for the UFC. And then they brought him to a doctor. He had a fractured orbital. And the doctor calls the UFC and goes, "Where did you get this guy?" "Yeah, he's amazing, right?" He goes, No, you don't understand. I've never seen a human being like this. The tendons in his eye are 3 times larger than normal. And his orbital fracture has already started healing. Everybody that fought him said hitting him is like hitting metal.
Rappers will do anything for their favorite drink, like Lil Yachty, who risked it all for a frappuccino stuck at the top of a vending machine.
Why the hell is the only glass thing in here at the top? I just would assume if it hit the bottom, it would definitely crack. Let's see what's gonna happen. Oh wow, damn, it didn't break.
Next, Travis Scott got tired of his drinks never tasting right, so he made his own cacti seltzer, but it exploded.
Right there. Oh wow, that's a geyser.
Lastly, Tupac loved orange juice so much, he had to drink it while filming his music videos.
Everybody on the set, can I get your attention, please? Everybody on the set, this is straight orange juice.
Sometimes rappers will do anything for their...
This is Andre, and people literally call him the human bear, because don't let his cute face fool you, as he's actually a 23-year-old natty badminton player who could probably beat 100 gorillas in a fight, as his hands are so massive he casually breaks entire boxing machines with a single slap. But even though he's absolutely gigantic and looks like he can't even tie his own shoes, Andre is actually surprisingly flexible, as he hits drop shots with insane precision and casually jumps 134 centimeters. And even though he almost pulls the entire swimming pool ladder out of its foundation every time he climbs out, he somehow even smokes professional swimmers in a race. This is Andre, and people literally call him the human bear, because
this is real proof that God exists. This is either going to make me believe it or not believe it at all. Let's see. Normal water versus holy water. Okay, I believe that's the normal water, right? Yeah, because that's nasty. Ew, we drink that? No, that is disgusting. What are those? Worms? Okay, holy water. No way it's going to make a difference, right? I mean, maybe it will. What's going to happen here? Here comes the microscope. Is it going to make a difference is the question. Wait, whoa, that's beautiful. Look at all the color. This is real proof that God exists. This is either going to make me believe it or not believe it at all.
Marshmallow ruined Justina's career, and here's why. I'm a broken marshmallow like me at a campfire. Marshmallow pie we never taste. You only wear that mask to cover your ugly face.
You wanna diss Marshmallow? The kid won't sign you. You're like a marshmallow, because you're soft, white, and everyone puts their stick inside you.
Marshmallow. This is Lily, and she decided to travel all the way to China to master the art of Kung Fu directly from the Shaolin monks. But in the beginning, she struggled with every single movement, and the training was physically exhausting. For weeks, she pushed her body to the absolute limits, training in the rain, learning weapon combat, and conditioning her mind. And when she finally completed her transformation, this is how her skills turned out, looking so disciplined and almost unrecognizable compared to when she started.
listen, water doesn't taste good compared to Coca-Cola if your body is like craving that heroin of Coca-Cola. But the reality is, if you were out in the desert and you saw a cold bottle of water, you'd be so excited for that water. It would be the most delicious thing ever. When you're at a restaurant, you're like, oh, you got any lemonade? No, I want a soda. I want some mouth pleasure. Listen, water doesn't taste good compared to Coca-Cola if your body is like craving that heroin of Coca-Cola. But the reality is, if you were out in the desert and you saw a cold bottle of water, you'd be so excited for that water. It would be the most delicious thing ever. When you're at a restaurant, you're like, oh, you got any lemonade? No, I want... Listen, water doesn't...
So I reacted, right? Let's comment on maybe some more pieces. That's like, let's say I just read Avatar though. Yet.
Nice! Nice!
I know my main channel for subscribers. Don't know why to subscribe today. Today it's a channel.
Just tell me why small creators get treated this way. Like I am out here grinding day and night, writing, recording, and editing just to make original content for you guys, and my account gets shadow banned and my views drop. I literally don't know what to do because recently I have spent all my savings to build a streaming setup so that I can spend more time with you guys. And after putting so much effort, I just feel sad to see all my hard work go down the drain. I am not asking you to subscribe.
King, here's why getting fat was the best mistake I've ever made in terms of building muscle. Being fat is arguably the most anabolic state you can put your body in because you can practically build muscle without even trying. This is because, one, you are guaranteed to be above your genetic set point in terms of body fat percentage. The abundance of extra energy makes it easier for your body to put on extra mass, both fat and muscle. Reason number 2 is that every time you move, you are lifting weights. Every time you get up, it's like doing a squat. This 22-year-old bodybuilder is finally regretting abusing steroids after receiving life-threatening news from doctors. Because when this bodybuilder went viral for having an insanely muscular physique at such a young age, people pointed out dangerous warning signs appearing on his body. See, his skin has a rare mutation effect, which changes color depending on his blood pressure, sometimes turning dark red or even purple. But what's even crazier is that he's grown a new tumor or muscle on his forearm. I have to show you something you can touch. But recently, he's been experiencing extreme shortness of breath, resulting in him laying in bed most of the day, relying on a respirator to breathe. Doctors say his condition will only get worse if he doesn't stop soon. This 22-year-old...
Remember Samuel? Well, his grip training almost turned into a curse, because no matter the surface, even mirrors, his fingers simply won't stop sticking to it. So some people suggested he should start swimming more often to soften his skin, but that didn't help at all, because instead of swimming or relaxing in the water, Samuel started training to become the real-life Aquaman. He discovered how to control buoyancy without having to breathe out, and what's even worse is that he trained his eyes to withstand the chlorine. Remember Samuel? Well, his grip training almost turned into a curse, because no matter the surface, even mirrors, his fingers simply won't stop sticking to it. So some people suggested he should start swimming more often to soften his...
Bodybuilders used to dye all of their skin, including their face. The darker your skin is, the more contrast, more shows your muscles. But now, it's become offensive to dye your face, so they dye their whole body, and they leave their face white. It's so silly. Bodybuilders used to dye all of their skin, including their face.
These men twist their hair into a single long braid. Men of the Himba tribe have a unique hairstyle known as ondatu, a thick braided strand that runs down the back of the head with the sides shaved off. It's coated in a mixture of butterfat, ochre, and herbs. The process can take hours. Hair is sectioned, twisted, and coated in the paste, the same mixture Himba women use. This hairstyle is typically worn if the man is single. Once he's married, he'll split the ondatu into 2 braids and keep them covered, often with a cap or headscarf. If a Himba...
Please never do this to your hair. The kid wanted to bleach his hair and he started by using a special cap that separates the roots of your hair from the tips. This allows the hairstylist to only bleach the top of your hair, giving you highlights. But that's when the hairstylist made a mistake that almost ruined the entire thing. After applying a second layer of bleach, he started washing the hair out and he almost forgot to use the purple shampoo, but once he did, it fully changed the color of this kid's hair, taking it from yellow to almost completely silver. And once he added it, this kid loved the way that his hair turned out and all the comments said it looked way better. But what do you think? Please never do this.
This guy is purposely ruining his looks by punching his ear with real weights. But why is he even doing this? At first you might think he just enjoys pain, but in reality, many people do this for an interesting reason. You see, when you get punched in the ear repeatedly, it causes it to swell up. This is called a cauliflower ear, which is believed to make you look intimidating and earn you a lot of respect from other people. But real fighters actually try their best to get rid of this damage by draining blood from their ears because they don't have to prove anything to anyone. This guy is purposely ruining his looks by punching his ear with real weights. But why is he
Rappers who are ashamed of their mansions, like Rick Ross, who bought a 235-acre mansion so big he needs a golf cart just to reach the bathroom, but later admitted it's a headache to maintain, saying he spends more time fixing it than living in it. Next is Drake, who built a $100 million Toronto mansion he calls the Embassy, but after fans called it too cold and lonely, even Drake said it feels more like a museum than a home. And then there's Kanye West, who dropped $57 million on a Malibu bunker, but after his divorce from Kim, he called it too quiet and barely stays there anymore. Rappers who are ashamed of their mansion.
Every time someone trains with Larry Wheels, something goes wrong. That sound was an elbow breaking, and that's only the beginning. Torn muscles, ribs broken. Injuries keep happening around him so often that people ended up naming it the Larry Wheels curse. But those injuries don't compare to what happened next. Ryan Crowley tore his entire pec off the bone. And afterwards, he said this.
Should have happened, I was bursting tears, crying on his shoulder, saying like my life's over.
Every time someone trains with Larry Wheels, something goes wrong. What happens if a recruit cries in boot camp? Everyone knows the Marine Corps boot camp is the second hardest branch in the U.S. military, and this is exactly why. When new recruit James first stepped onto the yellow footprints, he was confident. Back home, he was stronger and fitter than most. He thought boot camp would be easy, but because he was stronger, he quickly stood out among the recruits. And this is when things started to go bad. The drill instructors targeted him, making every mistake his fault. One day, instead of punishing him, they punished his whole platoon. Push-ups, sit-ups, running back and forth, non-stop. James stood and watched as his platoon struggled, some barely able to move, chanting, "Thank you, James. Thank you, James," with every rep. That's what broke him. James eventually cried. His drill instructor noticed, and for the first time, the DI walked up calm, almost like a friend. James explained everything that had pushed him to tears. That's when his drill instructor leaned closer and said, "I don't care. Drop down and give me 50. What happens if a recruit cries? XXX Temptation looked powerful to the world, but inside, he was fighting emotions most people never saw. Every song came from a place of struggle, hope, and healing. His story reminds us that even the strongest need support. What message do you take from his journey? XXX. This guy thought it would be badass to pull off a daring stunt by branding his arm. But what he didn't realize was that this stunt would burn him in more ways than one. This guy tried 100 years of men's hair, starting out with 1920s where they love to do slick back styles with hair gel. Well, in the 30s they do more side-parted hairstyles. Still, this guy tried 100 years of men's hair, starting out with 1920s where they love to do slick back styles with hair gel. Well, in the 30s they do more side-parted hairstyles, still using a ton of hair gel. And in the 40s they brush it a little bit more straight, but it's basically the same hairstyle as the 30s. But in the 50s is when people started discovering adding volume to their hair, which is why he makes it stand up in the front, while keeping the sides slicked back, which is nothing like the 60s where they were really focused on doing shaggy, longer hairstyles that weren't as well kept, like this mop cut. But in the 70s, the only thing that they really changed is swooping the hair off to the side a little bit. Unlike the 80s where they took all of their hair, added a ton of gel, and slicked it straight back like a businessman. But the 90s is when things started getting a little bit too crazy because instead of just slicking their hair back, they used some sort of hair dryer to make pieces stand out in the front. But starting in the 2000s is when men started wearing unique hairstyles like this middle part style right here. But in the 2010s is when the Justin Bieber bob haircut really came into play with the side swoop. And the most infamous one of all, you need to send this to a friend with a busted haircut, and that's going to be the fluffy hair. This guy tried.
Why are these people covering their entire bodies with oil? This isn't for fun. It's preparation for a special Turkish game called Yala Güreş. The rules of this game are completely unique and unseen. To win, a player must keep his hand inside his opponent's waistband for 6 seconds. And the oil? It's applied to make everything extremely slippery. Why are these people covering their entire bodies with oil? This isn't for fun.
Do you know why King Von's casket was buried under a layer of concrete? You see, it's not well known, but Von had 2 burials. After his first burial, his ops found the location of his grave and tried to disrespect it by digging it up. However, that failed as the graveyard security found them before they got to the casket. But this worried Von's family, as they just wanted him to rest in peace. So they took out the casket and poured a layer of concrete over it just in case. Only a week later, Von's ops returned this time. They dug all the way to his casket, but all they found was a concrete barrier that they couldn't break. You know why King Von's casket was buried under a layer of...
Somebody explain how Mike Tyson is even a real person. At 13, a kid ripped the head off his pet pigeon, so Tyson beat him so bad that he realized, oh, I'm built different. He ended up owning 350 pigeons and dropping $400,000 just to keep them happy, and said birds are the only creatures that never betrayed him. He once wanted a giant heart tattooed on his face, but the artist changed it last second to that tribal mark that became his symbol. One time at the zoo, Tyson saw a gorilla bullying the others and offered the zookeeper $10,000 to let him fight it. Then he crashed his $230,000 Rolls Royce, and instead of apologizing, just gave the guy the car. He bit a man's ear off, showed his cheeks on live TV, played with Hezbollah like a baby, and once took a selfie with a guy who whispered, "Mike, you robbed me when I was a kid, and that's why." Somebody explain how Mike Tyson is even a real person.
This guy went skydiving. He was curious what the inside of a cloud looks like and finally answered all of our questions. When he went into the cloud, his reaction was priceless. This guy went skydiving.
Ashton Hall just revealed a huge secret about his past, and the reason why is shocking. Everyone knows that Ashton Hall has one of the best physiques in the world. No one has really noticed this huge dent in his chest. You see, a long while back, when Ashton Hall was just starting his fitness influencer journey, he was mainly focused on being as strong as he possibly could. So when he was doing this, he actually made a huge mistake that he says he still regrets to this day. One day when he was working out, he tried to lift as heavy as he could and bench the 100-pound dumbbells. However, this was too much for him, and he tragically tore his chest muscle as a result of this. This tear has gone a long way for him though, as he has stated that this accident motivates him to keep pushing. Ashton Hall just revealed a huge secret about his past, and the reason why—
She's white. Really? Yes, she is white.
This is what happens to your body when you get off steroids and stop training. This guy was in the best shape of his life. Massive, shredded, looking like a professional bodybuilder, but then he had to get multiple surgeries. They stopped him from training for months. He had no reason to stay on gear anymore.
Stop. There's your problem, right there. As you can see, Ms. Crane is reaching as high as she can. She's even on her tippy toes. And yet the hammer is hitting the back of Manny's head.
A billionaire was found dead in his garage, but the prime suspect seemed incapable of committing the crime. The fatal wound was on the top of his head, and the victim's tall stature made it impossible for the suspect to reach, even on tiptoe. But then someone asked a question.
Okay, doctor, that all makes sense, but what if Mr. Bondron was bending over?
This question caught the judge's attention, yet the situation still remained under control by this lawyer.
If he had been bending over, the distance between his knees and the ground wouldn't have been great enough to create those injuries.
Just as everyone thought the case would end with a dismissal, someone else stood up.
Stop.
If Mike Tyson punched a boxing machine with full force, the impact pressure measured by the machine would be around 815 kilograms. This is about 3 to 4 times the punching power of an If Mike Tyson punched a boxing machine with full force, the impact pressure measured by the machine would be around 815 kilograms. This is about 3 to 4 times the punching power of an average person, and highlights Tyson's legendary strength. On the other hand, if Cristiano Ronaldo tried to deliver a strike with his kick, the force would be extremely high, and if it hit a person's face, the consequences would be very severe. If Mike Tyson punched...
See the bees on his fucking head? And it does nothing to him. The guy sticks his hand in the tree, scoops that out, starts eating it like it's a hamburger. And I'm like, bro, I'm cool. No, come on. I go in, one sting. Ah! You've been getting stung since you were a kid, so you're like immune to it. There's one guy in the village that's so strong that he could shoot the arrow through the kudos.
Those are back muscles in that one.
Oh my god, they're ripped. Back muscles, 6-packs. The kids have 6-packs and they don't get tired. I'm like, what's going on? We've been running for 5 hours. You guys aren't sweating. They'll just start digging a hole and drink like a handful of brown water, and that's enough for them. See the bees on his fucking head? And it does nothing to him. The guy sticks it.
To save her own life, the woman pressed a knife against the prince's forehead and made a small cut. From that wound, she carefully peeled away a thin layer of skin and marked 3 bright red moles upon it. Working quickly, she dusted powder over the wound and stitched it shut with a fishhook. She had to finish before the incense stick burning nearby went out. If the stitching wasn't done in time, the prince would awaken in agony, and in his fury, he would have beheaded her. But the prince did not wake. The woman finished her work just in time, leaving 3 distinct moles on his forehead. The next day, the prince appeared before before the Emperor. Under the sunlight, the moles became visible. Emperor said nothing, yet the following morning he gave a chilling order. Soldiers were to surround the prince. Save her own life, the woman pressed a knife against...
Moments when fans threw wild-eyed at artists on stage and instantly regretted it, starting with Billie Eilish, after a fan hit her with a bracelet on her face. And she had to say this at her next concert.
Don't fucking throw anything in my face.
And next is JID, who shocked everyone after doing this.
Hey, who threw that musty, sweaty ass shirt up here?
And Cardi B, who instantly crashed out. And finally Sway Lee, getting hit by a phone. Moments when fans threw wild-eyed at artists on stage.
This man and collapsed in a parking lot because a group of high school kids had just done something absolutely unbelievable. He is a school janitor, known for his kindness and warm heart.
If we were to have a bad day, he'd be the first guy. I'd be like, oh, hey, are you okay?
So the kids thought they wanted to give him something back.
I mean, let's do something nice for him. No one else is going to.
And one day, they asked him, if you could have anything in the world, what would it be?
Jeep Wrangler. That's why I'm trying to work hard.
But he sends most of his money to support family in Ghana, and getting the car was only a pipe dream. But the boys had a plan, and they secretly raised $22,000. And when they brought him outside to see the surprise, his knees gave out, unable to believe what was happening.
I will never, ever forget today. My God!
Ever wonder why handball players' balls get so black and dirty? It's because of a special glue called resin. This stuff is so powerful that just picking a ball from the team card is a challenge. You can literally hear the sound as each one is ripped away. But players need it for a superhuman grip. A normal amount is so sticky it will stop a ball from falling right off the goalpost. The only problem is it gets all over their hands, which is why the #1 rule is to never wipe sweat from your face. And you definitely don't want to get your hand stuck in an opponent's hair during a match. But for this professional player, the real problem was his comment section. People constantly told him he wasn't using enough resin. So after one fan dared him to use an entire box on a single ball, he decided to end the debate forever. He didn't just take a scoop. He plunged his hand into a brand new tub and pulled out a mountain of golden goo. The result was the stickiest handball in history. A ball so completely covered it looked like an alien egg that had just hatched. This isn't just a ball anymore. If you caught this, you just have to accept the ball is part of your hand now. Ever wonder why handball...
King Von saw it coming, and nobody listened. A few weeks before Von passed, he told his closest friends something that still haunts them today. He said, I feel like somebody's watching me. They laughed it off, thought he was tired, stressed, overthinking. But Von wasn't joking. His eyes were serious, not scared, alert. Von grew up surviving off instincts, and when his instincts talked, he listened. He felt something in the air, something off, something coming. One of his homies later said,
Eddie Hall could never become a U.S. Marine, and here's why. Since the USMC boot camp is the second hardest on the planet, even Eddie Hall might not survive it. Although he can actually lift and throw you 3 feet above, there are 5 reasons why he can't be a U.S. Marine. First, Marines don't care how strong you are. They care how long you can suffer without breaking. Second, Eddie's body is built for power, but Marine boot camp demands endurance, not ego. Third, the Marines don't just break your body, they erase your identity to rebuild you as one of them. The drill instructors would actually yell at him like he's a loser just to shatter his spirit. Fourth, if he somehow endured every second of that chaos, he still wouldn't make it through the gate because he's not even American. Eddie Hall could never be...
Elastic! It's me! Oh, Elastic! How old are you? Moment! Fly. Okay, you know what? Go ahead.
Did you know that Randy Orton almost ruined Rey Mysterio's entire career by ripping off his mask? Because in Lucha Libre tradition, if a wrestler's mask is fully removed in the ring, they can never wear it again for the rest of their career. But during their match, Ruthless Orton didn't care about tradition. He ripped and tore Ray's sacred mask, trying to expose his face to the entire world and ruin his legacy. When Ray fell to the ground with the chair, his mask fell off, and you could see the back of his head, but not the face. Then Orton grabbed the mask and lifted it high like a trophy as referees rushed in, covering Ray with a towel so no one could see his face and save him. Did you know that Randy Orton...
The reason why players don't step on the logo, look at Cristiano Ronaldo avoiding stepping on the logo of one of his biggest rivals in football. Marcelo almost had a fit when they told him he had stepped on the logo of the team they were about to play against. Militao noticed it and pointed it out to him, but it was already too late. There are players who even prefer to fall or almost injure themselves rather than step on it. Look at Vinicius. He even jumps to avoid it. And Araujo too. Look how he almost twists his legs. Luis Suarez had to stop at the last minute to avoid stepping over the Manchester City shield. But why do they do this? The answer is simple. It's out of respect, an unwritten rule of sportsmanship. The reason why players don't step on the logo, look at Cristiano Ronaldo avoiding stepping on the logo of one of his biggest...
Nothing in the world is built for Shaq. His shoe, size 23. Next to a normal person, it looks like half their body. He once dropped $600,000 on a Lamborghini, but it couldn't even fit him. So he literally stretched the whole car by a foot. Now he custom extends every car he owns. When a normal person eats a chicken wing, it's a snack. When Shaq eats one, it looks like he's holding a toothpick. His championship ring, 2 normal fingers can fit inside it. And every zoo he visits, the gorillas literally stop and stare like, wait, who let him out? Even his toilets had to be rebuilt because the normal ones kept exploding. His bed, almost the world record for the largest personal bed ever made. And that's why nothing in the world is built.
You won't touch that motherfucking PS5 until you're 25, okay?
This kid was getting ready for an upcoming football match. His mom prepared a whole speech to motivate him, but just watch how she might have took things too far and almost made him cry.
You out, okay? While I plan on the field, don't look at me, don't wave at me, don't smile at me, none of that. Focused on the game, okay? You want your beat? No. You gonna go to the fair today?
In high school, I put the plastic knife in my pocket for some reason, and then I just started like scraping against the desk, and I was like, oh wow, I can cut this desk in half. Did this for like 5 minutes. The teacher was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop. And I was doing the calculation in my head. I was like, it'd take me like 10 hours to cut through this. So I went to the store on the way home, and I bought like the cheapest plastic knives I could find. And then I just got this like $20 fold-out table, and I just went in my room, hit record on the camera, and I just cut through it. And I think that took 12 hours. In high school, I put the plastic knife in my pocket.
This man went to the barbershop to get a haircut and took the opportunity to ask them to remove his wart. The barber complied and wrapped a thread around the spot. After a few turns, he told the man that the wart would fall off in a few days. The only problem is that it will appear on the neck of everyone who doesn't leave a like on the video.
These are rappers who passed out right on stage, part 1, starting with Doja Cat, who gave her fans one of the longest one-breath lines in music history, but suddenly she ran out of breath. These are rappers who passed out right.
This is the biggest hand all over the world, and it belongs to a man named Jeff Bade. But before I tell you the story, if you have hands, like and subscribe. Jeff Bade was born with hands that grew much larger than normal. Huge palms, long fingers, and a reach that looks supersized next to anyone else. Because of his...
If someone beats you up, instead of going home and crying, the first thing you should do is increase your punching speed. One of the most effective ways to achieve this is to grab 2 1-kilogram dumbbells and regularly train as if you're punching someone. This way, the muscles you use while throwing punches develop actively. Your reflexes get faster, and you could even see after just the first training session that the moment you drop the dumbbells, your fist naturally shoots forward on its own. If someone beats you up, instead of going...
When this athlete threw his javelin, a sudden cloud of smoke appeared. Everyone thought he had cheated. The throw looked perfect. Julian Weber sent the javelin flying over 83 meters at a European competition. But in slow motion, a strange puff of white appeared the moment he released the javelin. It looked like gunpowder smoke, and the crowd began to wonder what had happened. The truth was simple. It was just magnesia, the chalk athletes use for better grip, scattering into the air. But what if a javelin thrower accidentally hit a referee during a competition? Would he go to jail? Or would it be seen as an accident? That's exactly what happened in 2013 in Germany. A 15-year-old thrower released his javelin too soon, while a referee was still in the field. It struck the referee in the throat, a tragic mistake that shocked everyone. The rules say throwing without the referee's signal or before the field is clear is a serious violation. But in this case, the boy wasn't at fault. Another referee had... when this athlete threw his javelin.
When this guy lifts his hair, you can only see the bright red roots. But how? Let me explain. This style is called ghost roots. For this technique, they section the hair and tie it up, hitting only the roots with the desired color. The result is a totally unique and hidden splash of color. When this guy lifts his hair, you can only see the bright red roots. But
Remember when X ended this girl's career?
Mama rich, my sister, my daddy rich, my brother's rich, I'm rich.
Broke, nigga. Your auntie broke. Your grandma broke. Your brother broke. Nigga, you broke.
Remember when X ended this girl's career?
Mama rich, my sister, my daddy rich, my brother's rich, I'm rich.
Broke, nigga. Your auntie broke. Your grandma broke. Your brother broke. Nigga, you broke.
The coach brought in the moms of these football players to see how they can actually play, but the kids crushed them so badly that he knew he had no choice but to bring their dads instead. The coach brought in the moms of these football players to see how they can actually play, but the kids crushed them so badly that he knew he had no choice but to bring their dads instead.
Look at the last guy.
This father made his son drink 10 bowls of milk every single day. When the boy turned 2, he was bathed with sand as hard as steel. At the age of 3, a heavy stone was placed on his chest to build his strength. By the time he was 4, he was made to roll over a bed of thorns 10,000 times so that his body could endure any attack. After such extreme training, he was finally admitted into the Shaolin Temple, and that too, to learn a very special art. 10 years passed. The boy had now become powerful, but the real test was only beginning. In the first stage, he had to sit inside a massive bell while it was struck 1,012 times, while the others trembled with fear. He sat perfectly still because his childhood itself had been a form of penance. The second challenge was even more terrifying. A narrow corridor with spiked walls slowly closing in from both sides. At first, he tried stopping the walls with his hands, but as his strength faded, the spikes began to tear into his skin. Then, an idea struck him. If he used his legs to hold the walls apart and crawled forward with his hands, he might escape. Somehow, he passed this stage, but he had no idea that the real madness was yet to come. His father made his...
These guys were stuck on a long, boring road trip, but they didn't care because they have the coolest car in the world. Just when the drive got tiring, a massive screen dropped down from the ceiling. The passengers immediately grabbed their controllers and started playing an intense FIFA match. The driver stayed focused on the road while his friends enjoyed the ultimate gaming experience. But sadly, the driver said they'd have to turn it off if they don't get at least 2 likes.
This is why John Cena always protects his fans, because when R-Truth humiliated this dad by throwing soda in his face, Cena rushed out to chase the bully away and help the man. Then, when Truth stole another kid's cap, Cena didn't just get it back. He brought the boy into the ring to celebrate the victory. And when Cena saw a disabled fan in the crowd, he went to hug the boy and gave him his wristband, because Cena treats his fans like family. Subscribe if you respect John. This is why...
Sometimes adults try to rap battle kids but end up getting embarrassed. Just like when this boy ended up embarrassing not 1, but 2 adults.
Acting entertaining, so actually, I might be your daddy.
Now, Nick, you're talented in the most things that you're doing. I played your song at my game and the crowd started booing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's because they couldn't hear it. Look, we know the little kids adore you.
But how am I 15 and I got a mustache before you?
Then there's that girl Lele, who had one of the best rap battles ever.
You think you up here grown until your little ass start paying some bills.
Alright, okay, let's do it. All y'all whack like your outfit. Fuck. Well, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Rap battle kids, but end up getting embarrassed. Just like when this boy ended up embarrassing not one, but two adults.
King Von's final moments left a deep impact on everyone who cared about him.
Mama, I think Von bit me. No, baby, I don't think these are bites. You've got chicken pox. Huh?
Who gave her chicken pox?
Wasn't me. Look, Chris and Drew, I don't need y'all getting sick, so I need y'all to stay away from Tanya. You're gonna make it worse, boy. Stop scratching. But it itches.
Mama, what booty itches?
Oh, come here.
Mr. Beast thought we wouldn't notice that in the 100 Boys versus the Fastest Girl video, he did something extremely questionable. Mr. Beast had 100 boys race against the fastest girl, but one comment I saw completely blew my mind. Someone said none of them are black, not trying to be...
Alright guys, how about this? Okay, I gotta end the video. Bye.